Great, because I'm going to give you guys an idea of some things that you can do if you're completely new. Honestly, as a virtual assistant, you're never really all the way new, because we all have skills that we just don't realize are worth a lot of money to other people. So it's definitely a great way to side hustle to make extra money. It's also busy enough and the market is big enough to actually make like a full-time income. I started side hustling as a virtual assistant and then went full-time. And my niche was, some of you guys have heard this story before, but my niche was business coaching. So I was a virtual assistant for business coaches. So I was setting up systems, writing emails, ghost writing books. If you guys don't know, that's why my name on Instagram is The Spoiled Writer. And I've had to keep it that way because that's kind of how people know me. But I used to ghostwrite everything for business coaches. And a lot of them are still coaches today. Actually, I can't tell you who they are, because I've signed non-disclosure agreements. But there are about 5 or 6 really, really large business coaches that are on Instagram right now that for months, when I first started, I wrote all of their emails, all of their sales pages. I created their products. I mean, I did everything to the point where I was like, I should just coach because I am a coach. So I'm writing all this information and selling it to coaches, and they're making tons of money, and that's great. And for me, it wasn't about, for me, it was more so about making ends meet. It wasn't really about being an influencer or, being recognized or being known. Like I had no, want to be that person who was out in front of people. And so for me, it was like, oh, I can be behind the scenes and still make really good money and not have to deal with everyone wanting to know everything about me, not have to do with that. That's awesome. And so that's kind of how I started. So starting last year, I created this course about teaching VAs, and I found, man, this is really, really needed because when you are a coach or you do own a business, not just coaches, but all types of entrepreneurs, it is really, really hard to find a good virtual assistant that knows certain skills, someone that can kind of jump right in and make things happen for you. And so it's very, very sought after. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that need virtual assistants. I have people come to me every single day saying, can you connect me with a VA? Where can I find a good VA? People from all types of industries: beauty, real estate, coaches, life coaches, business coaches, health coaches, all types of coaches always need help. So any type of entrepreneur nowadays is needing the help of a virtual assistant because it is hard for them to get it all done on their own, and they're very passionate about their business. And if them being able to run their business and keep things going means that they need to split some of their profits with someone else, or if they need to pay someone to help them get it done, they are willing to do that, way more than willing to give up their dreams. So it's definitely a really, really good field to be in, at all times, whether, like I said, whether you're part-time, you're side hustling, you just pick up projects when you want to, or whether you are actually full-time as a virtual assistant. You can be a virtual assistant to, thanks for letting me know that, you guys. You could be a virtual assistant to entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work from home, or those physical businesses as well. You actually tend to make a little bit more money with the physical businesses because normally they have a budget for things like a social media manager. So if you can come in and say, well, I can manage your social media, but then I also have these other skills that are digital and can really help take your business into the digital world as well, and you can make money there, you will also you'll be able to upcharge them a little bit, and so that's great. And a lot of people they take the route of the physical businesses because they have places in their community that they love to go, or they love their products or love their food. And then you get on their social media and you're like, these pictures or this social media following does not match up with how good this sandwich is or how good this salad is. Like that happens all the time. And as I'm saying it, you're probably thinking of some places where you're like, I go there almost every week. Look them up on social media. 9 times out of 10, their social media looks bad, you guys. Physical businesses have a really, really hard time with the digital space. So they are really needing that help. It may take a little bit more convincing to get a physical business on board, but once they're on board, they are great clients. There are clients that you can stay with for years, and actually most of them have multiple locations, so you're able to kind of expand and take on as much work as you can handle. Also, companies hire virtual assistants. So there's a lot of companies that are hiring virtual assistants right now. They don't necessarily call them virtual assistants. A lot of times they're called like customer service reps, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a lot of companies that are hiring virtually, not just to be on the phone customer service, but also to handle a lot of the other little things like social media post creation, the customer service chat, editing website, all of that kind of stuff, etc. So now that you know what a virtual assistant is, you have to think about, okay, what's holding you back? Nothing really, nothing, right? The only thing that may be holding you back would be a lack of experience, but there's a lot of skills, like I said in the beginning of this, there are a lot of skills that you probably have right now, whether it's through your education or jobs that you've had or anything like that, that you can actually use and monetize, that other people are bad at or other people do not like to do, that would love to pay someone to help them get it done, because that's literally what it is. It's, people know how to answer their own emails. They know how to post consistently on social media, but they don't like to do it. And for a lot of people, hey, I'd rather pay for that. I'd rather pay for that. Okay. So the real question is, how do you turn those skills that you have already into a business? I encourage heavily, everyone I work with is a virtual assistant. I encourage them to start with the skills that you already have so that you're not overwhelmed, and offer the skills that you already have, and then slowly add in other skills that are popular or high in demand. Okay. You can be a successful virtual assistant. You just have to give yourself the opportunity to learn and be open and understanding how to secure your clients, where they're at on the internet, how much to charge, and what they're going to expect from you once you approach them and say, hey, I'm a virtual assistant. These are the services that I offer. So I'm going to go over a few of the services that you can offer. There's a lot of different types. Some VAs focus on general tasks like an administrative assistant, and others focus on specific in-demand skills. It just depends on what you like to do and what you're interested in. So here's a few examples, and I'm going to stay on this slide for a few minutes so you guys can kind of write these things down. So for examples of a general VA virtual assistant task that business owners, companies, and physical brick and mortar locations hire for all of the time: email management. So that's going to be, pre-writing emails and scheduling them to be sent out. There's a bunch of different email platforms. You do not have to know them all. You could literally, you may be in here and say, well, I know how to schedule emails on MailChimp, or I know how to schedule emails on Aweber, or I've used, you may use something that you use for work or you've used at a previous job before. You really only have to know one platform, because there's enough people on each of these platforms that there's going to be someone who needs your help. So you don't have to force yourself to learn a bunch of new systems. You really only have to know one, of each category. But definitely email management, because people do not like to answer their emails and they do not like to write them, even though they're very short. Booking appointments with clients, following up with clients, the customer calendar management file. So that would be, for example, if my spacing's a little weird in this slide, but it would be something, for example, if, a lash tech, she has her appointments booked and she wants to build her business, but she needs more reviews. She's going to need help following up with her clients to get reviews. So you would do something like logging into her booking system and seeing past appointments she's had and writing each of those customers an email, or pre-writing an email and sending it to each of those customers saying, hey, we love your review, blah, 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 blah. And when they respond, you would be able to either, put those into Canva and make them look nice, or add them to her website, something like that. Because those are like the little things in business that kind of have to be done in order for someone to really run a successful business, but they need help with doing that because they're doing their job all day, they're running their business. So database organization, updating contact information for clients. That's something that you'll see, inside of like a lawyer's office or an accountant's office, or, one of those specialized in-person, professionals. They like to call their clients every so often and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm checking in. Real estate agents hire people for that all the time, that database organization, where you're looking at the contact information from either past clients they've sold houses to, or people they've done showings for and didn't sell house to. And every 90 days, they need a touch base where, they have their assistant call, or their virtual assistant call and say, hey, how are you? How is it going in the new house? Or if you didn't find a house yet, what could we have done better? So that's definitely something that people get paid for. Hotel and flight booking. You may not see a ton of that right now since, of course, a lot of places are still in quarantine and some hotels are still shut down, so you won't see that as much. But when it starts to open back up, people will hire you for hotel and flight booking because they don't want to deal with it. Setting up social media accounts, that's a super easy one. Normally, you'll get those clients from having like in-person conversations with people who say, I have a business, but I don't know how to get on the internet. I'm a virtual assistant. I can help you set up your social media accounts. I can get you set up on Instagram, Facebook with a Facebook page, and TikTok. I'll write your bio, pick your profile picture for you, and do your first, 30 posts. That's something that you can offer. Answering support tickets and customer service, that can happen either through a customer service chat. That's a really good one as well. Through the customer service chat, or it could be through email if that person has a customer service email for their business. And this could be brick and mortar, or it could be a solopreneur. You can be the person who answers those customer service emails and helps people kind of find things and directs them to places. Content creation, so newsletters, emails, blog posts. If you're a good writer, blog posts is great. Social media posts, all that stuff can be created in Canva if you've ever used Canva before. Proofreading and editing, this is a huge one. Proofreading and editing, people do not like to proofread. I'm a writer, that's why I started as a writer. Proofreading and editing, people really need help with that. In all different types of industries, people are always writing books because they want to share their knowledge and they want to leave their legacy. But the proofreading and the editing part is like, it's really hard for people to do. And it's also hard because, once you've written something, sometimes we'll write something ourselves and we'll read it and it has mistakes in it and our brain automatically corrects it. And so it's just better to have someone else proofread for you. So people definitely pay for that as a virtual assistant service. Also, editing transcriptions. So you can take, if you guys don't know this, you can take videos, webinar trainings like this, and audio and send it to an automated service that transcribes it. So it takes the video and turns it into words, but then you still have to have someone to edit that before it gets turned into a book. And so there are virtual assistants that actually specialize in proofreading and editing. Webinar assistants, so help with setting up this webinar. Like I set up this webinar myself, but I could have had a virtual assistant do it because it is a process. You have to schedule the webinar, schedule the emails, create a landing page, and then you have to have social media posts to match up with that, and a slideshow. So all of that, you could say, hey, I help entrepreneurs create online webinars, or I help entrepreneurs host online conferences. And literally all you would do, and you could charge a pretty nice price, and all you would do is set up the webinar, the emails, make sure the slideshows are there. If it's an online conference, because a lot of people are doing online conferences now, which I don't think is ever going to go away now, make sure that contact all the speakers and say, hey, we need a picture of you for this flyer. We need a picture of you for this flyer. Can you send us, your bio? what's your company name, and you put all that stuff together. And it's literally just organization. A lot of us have the skills to do that already. You only need to know one webinar system. And then the rest of it from that is making sure these are the things that I need. This is when they have to be done. And, I just need to get it done. So let me go through my checklist and boom, boom, boom. So if you're a really organized person, a lot of these tasks are going to be really, really good for you. Social media, graphic design, PowerPoint presentations. Sometimes people just need the slideshow. I've had people literally send me a video before and say, I just need a slideshow to go with this. And I'm like, okay. So I watched the video and I turned it into a PowerPoint presentation. It takes me an hour. That's easy $100 in an hour. Easy. And especially now that people who used to teach in person, used to present at conferences where they did not have a slideshow, they were just speaking, or people that used to teach in-person classes, now they're having to teach their class online. They need a PowerPoint presentation to match up with the speech that they're giving, so that's a really easy one where people can just send you a link like, hey, here's a link to my video, or here's my video. I need a matching PowerPoint presentation. Easy, $99. Payments and invoice managing. So a lot of coaches, I've seen this a lot with business coaches. If they're a high ticket coach, meaning they charge a lot, $1,500, $2,000 a package, when they get on their discovery call, they're literally just focusing on their client. And after their discovery call, if the person says, yes, I want to be your client, they say, okay, I'll have my virtual assistant send you an invoice. So literally that's all you will be doing, is sending out those invoices and making sure they get paid. And once they get paid, you notify the coach, hey, this person has paid. I sent them a link to schedule, their first session or their first 3 sessions with you. It's on your calendar. Easy. Okay. Managing contests and giveaways. So that can really apply to any industry as well. Just setting up contests and saying, this is if you want to manage if you want to run a contest or a giveaway, this is the type of giveaway I suggest. This can be the rules for the contest. This is how you should run it. And here's some graphics to go with it. Easy. Video editing. If you're good at video editing, there are a ton of people who, not just YouTubers, but business people in business who own businesses, and they record video and they do not know how to edit. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. I mean, if you're good at editing, go super fancy. But like I said earlier, before I started this presentation, I record all of my YouTube videos and edit them all on my phone. Before I got this Mac, now I'm doing it on the Mac. But before, I was doing it all on my phone with iMovie, which is a free app. If you have an iPhone, that is a free app to edit. If you were editing on their computer, there's a couple of different programs that are very low cost, like less than $100, one-time payment, less than $100, where you can edit video and people will send you their raw video and you edit it and send it back to them. And people will gladly pay for that. Anybody on YouTube, there's millions of people on YouTube. Most of them are editing their own videos, but they're making money from their videos. So if they found a video editor that was great, they would do it. I know this is a long list. That's why I was like, I'm going to stay on here for a while to give you guys time to write all this down. So video editing, lead generation, landing page setup. So that's just setting up the landing pages like the one you guys went to sign up for this webinar. Very simple title, a paragraph or 2 describing what's going to be taught, a nice picture, and a sign-up form. There's a little bit more to do on the back end so that things are organized, but landing page setups take, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. If it's something that you do consistently. So if you are good at that, or if you're willing to learn how to set that up, people will definitely pay you for that. Online research for people that are starting new businesses or people that want to go digital. They will definitely pay you to do their market research. And then online store setup and maintenance. So if you know how to build websites, or if you know how to run Shopify or WooCommerce, you can charge for that as well. Like I said, I co-own a physical business. So this computer that's sitting right here, there's a printer under here too, but this computer right here is actually the computer for the orders. So I do all of the online maintenance as far as order packing and inventory and all that kind of stuff. So Literally, you could have this set up at home. I've got a scale. I wish you guys could see it. Well, let me move my computer and show you how easy it is. I've got a desktop. I've got a scale. These are orders right here. This is a weighing scale, so I do not have to go to the post office. I weigh the packages here. The label gets printed out. It gets stuck onto the package. The printer's down there. Boom. 3 pieces set up. So if you have, and you can do it with your laptop. It doesn't have to be a computer like that. You can do it with your laptop. But if you have a desktop or a computer already, the scale, if you go to a business that's already set up, they'll most likely either ship you their scale, or you can grab a scale for cheap, grab a $59, $79 printer from OfficeMax and have 5 clients, and all you do is ship their orders out. They'll have this stuff sent to your house. You don't even have to leave. For this, you don't even have to leave your house. They can have the product shipped to your house. You package the orders, and then the post office will come pick them up from your house. I don't go to the post office anymore because there's too many germs, but they'll come pick up from your house for free. So that's a good one as well, for store maintenance. And some people run a drop shipping store, so you don't have to actually touch any of the inventory anyways. But if they do have inventory, that's a super easy one. I also know of people, like if there's somebody who runs a Shopify store, like a store where they ship physical, like clothing, boutiques and all that from their home. If they live in your city, you can also travel to their warehouse or travel to their, you could travel to their warehouse or travel to their house and help them pack and ship orders. So that's less virtual assistant, more assistant, but it's still a really good way to side hustle and make extra money. Yeah, the post office will pick up from your house. I do not go to the post office anymore. Okay, so off of that list, there are 10 really in-demand services, and I decided to list those separate. These are the 10 that literally you could post. Like if I sent you a script tonight and said, this is the script that you can send in a direct message, in a DM, and this is a script you can send in an email saying that you offer one of these 10 services, you will book a client in the next 7 days, because there's that many people that need a virtual assistant right now that they are ready to pay for, because people are still shopping regardless of, there's a pandemic, stuff is shut down. Well, it's not even shut down all the way anymore. People are shopping. They continue to shop through the entire thing. They will not stop shopping. So if I sent you that, these 10 services right here will get you booked in the next 7 days. I promise you, hands down. So if you're really serious about getting started, make sure you have these 10 written down. Make sure you have these 10 written down. So it's the building the landing pages, graphic design. It doesn't have to be in Photoshop. It can be Canva. So if you're good with Canva, Canva's the free graphic design online tool. Copywriter, so that's the person who's writing the blog post, proofreading, editing. A business coach assistant, so that's you coming in as an assistant and doing a little bit of all of these little things. Email management, project management, which is the online conference. You're setting up online conferences or scheduling interviews, or if somebody has a podcast and they need 15 podcast guests a month, you're going out and finding those podcast guests, confirming them, putting them on the schedule. That's project management. Bookkeeping, if you're good with numbers, you're good with money management, or if you have any type of a background in accounting with your 9-to-5 job or your previous job, if you have any skills with accounting, bookkeeping, website design, social media management, and customer relationship management. So that would be making sure that one-on-one appointments are booked and all that kind of stuff for coaches, etc. So those 10 right there are hot in demand right now. I have at least 2 or 3 people a week send me an email and say, do you have a virtual assistant? Because even though I offer a lot of the services that you guys saw on that list before and this list right now, I still offer those services, a lot of them. But I've had to scale back because when you're a service-based business, you can only take so many clients. Okay, you can only take so many clients. So until you start running an agency at this point, and I don't want to run an agency. So I have to outsource. I mean, even for me, I say, okay, I don't have time to do this, but I will send you somebody that has been through one of my training programs that is a really good fit for this, or someone who has a background in this. I'll send you that person's information, or somebody who really, really loves that field, right? The great thing about being a virtual assistant is that you do not have to work with people if you don't want to work with them. Like if you like beauty, you can work with only beauty brands. If you like education, you can say, I'm only going to work with teachers to help them get more digital for the school year. If you only like, or I'm going to work with school systems to help them go digital for the school year. That's a really good contract. I just thought about that off the top of my head. But you can literally say, hey, I only want to work with health coaches because I'm really interested in healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. I only want to work with mompreneurs because I have a child myself and I love, reading about that type of content. And I feel like I can make a lot, or I know a lot of information about that area. It would be easier for me to create. So you can definitely decide who you want to work with. So here's a few examples of exactly how you can make $2,000 a month as a breakdown, right? Because it sounds like a lot when you say $2,000, but it's really not. So if you're a copywriter, you can sell 10 packages at $200 a month, or have 10 clients at $200 a month. What you have to do, and before I go through the rest of these, what you have to do is figure out where your cap is of how many clients you want to work with. Is 10 too much? Is 5 too much? Is 10 not enough? Do you want to work with 15? Do you want to work with 20? You have to find out and decide how many clients are you willing to work with a month, and how much money do you want to make. Once you have those two numbers, you can do the equation. So let's say, for example, and I don't have a slide for this because I wasn't thinking I was going to teach this, but I'll teach it to you. So these breakdowns I did based off of $2,000 a month, but you really need to know how many clients you want to have and how much money you want to make. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to end up having a ton of clients. When I first started as a virtual assistant, it was word of mouth. I only had like 5 or 6 clients. I was in college. That was good enough for me. That was 10 years ago. That was good enough for me. Okay. Then when I went full time, I was in grind mode, and I was like, I'm not going to put a limit on my clients because there's no limit on my time, because I have now quit my job, and it went a little crazy. I had like 60 clients a month, which is way too many, because I did not put a cap on it. Okay. Now I cap out at around 30 to 40, which is still a lot. When I go on maternity leave, it's going to be like 10 to 15. I love y'all, but it's going to be like 10 to 15. So you have to decide up front. It's going to be a lot easier for you. How many clients do you want to have, or what's your cap? How many hours do you have to work, and how much do you want to make per month? So let's say, for example, if you say, okay, I can only take on, I only want to start with 5 clients, but I want to make $2,000 a month. $2,000 divided by 5 clients is $400 a month. So either they need to be paying $400 a month if you're having them on retainer, or you need to have packages that tier off around that number of $400. So maybe you have a $200 package, a $300 package, and a $400 package. And somewhere in those 5 clients, they may not all choose the $400, but you're going to get really close to hitting that $2,000 a month. And eventually, once you work with them and you give them all of your, you give them a mass of your attention, and they see the quality of your work, they're going to be willing to bump up to the higher package because they like working with you. Or they may only need you for a month, and they drop out, and you let somebody else come in and take their place because you have a wait list, because everyone needs a virtual assistant right now, right? So that's how you kind of figure it out. Or you could say, I want to make $5,000 a month, and I can work with 10 clients. So $5,000 a month divided by 10 clients is $500 a month. Sounds like a lot to you. It may sound like a lot to you, but I'm going to tell you guys, people will pay it. Because if you could pay, if you had to choose, man, I could do all of this myself, especially when it comes to business coaches. I could do all of this myself, but if you're doing all of this work yourself, if they're doing all those things that were on that list, that is taking up a whole lot of their time. And when it takes them time to do those things, they're not able to work with as many clients. So $500 is nothing to someone who has a client that pays $500, okay? So for a coach that sells, let's say they sell a 3-month package for $1,500. That's normal. Those numbers are normal, okay? $1,500 for a 3-month package is actually on the low end for a business coach, a life coach, or a health coach. It's on the low end. That client is paying them $500 a month. I would gladly take, if they have 5 or 6 clients, they're going to gladly take that $500 a month and say, here's the $500 a month. Please set up all my webinars and pre-write my emails. Because that's what's getting them clients. They can't not do those things. They get them clients. So they would much rather pay, for their time. So it's definitely easy to make $2,000. So copywriter can sell 10 packages at $200 a month. Doesn't have to be a retainer, but it can. It could just be, $200 to set up your social media and create your first 30 posts. You only need 10 customers for that. A social media manager sells 20 packages at $99 a month. So same thing, 30 posts, $99. You do 20 of those packages, you're done for the month. You could literally be done for the month, depending on where your bills are. A graphic designer designs 2 websites, $9.97. You only need 2 clients for that. 2 clients. Graphic designers tend to charge more, and people expect to pay more. And so you don't have to deal with as many people. So if you want to become a virtual assistant, but you don't want to have to deal with a bunch of clients, look into jobs that are designing. So website design, social media design, workbook, ebook design. Those things are a little bit higher in the price range, so you don't have to work with as many people. You won't have to have as much contact. So $9.97 for a website is actually kind of normal. That's normal to low, depending on where it's built, but it's definitely worth it to learn. In those 2 clients a month, you could be done. Or if you could do 1 a week, that's 4 clients a month. That's $4,000. Project manager, 5 clients paying $400 a month. Or bookkeeping, 7 clients at $285 a month. So that bookkeeping can be for online clients, or it could be in-person clients. That website design, that's something you could also approach businesses. It's great that the pandemic has brought us into a space where we have a lot to benefit from. And I say that saying that all of the physical brick and mortar businesses that before thought to themselves, I don't need to be online. I don't need social media. I don't need, to make online sales. I don't need a website. People are just going to drive past my business. They're going to come in. They're going to taste my food. They're going to love it. And they're going to come back forever. I don't need curbside pickup. All those people that thought that before there was a physical business, now they know. Now they know. Now you know. You do need social media. You do need to be online. You do need to, sell your recipes. You do need to sell this special sauce that you make for this burger, because what happens if you are not allowed to be open? What happens if you cannot open your dining room? What happens if, because we don't know that this is over. What happens if, you're not able to service clients in person? You still have a lot of assets and a lot of knowledge that you can sell. So a lot of those businesses really, really need help. And even though we are kind of opening back up out of quarantine now, it doesn't mean there's not going to be a second wave. There could be a second wave in the next few weeks. There could be another wave in the fall when actual flu season happens. So it's definitely a great time. So that first package, re-explain the first one. Copywriter sells 10 packages at $200 a month. So if you're a copywriter, you could put together a package that says, you know, this package is $200. It includes me writing you 4 blog posts, 4 emails, and a landing page. I mean, a lead magnet. It's $200. You would have to sell that package 10 times. And you can kind of decide what you want to put and what you don't want to put in the packages. The great thing about being a copywriter is that you actually do not have to design anything. I design stuff because I'm also very visual, but you don't have to. You could literally type up the sales page or type up the blog post or type up the emails in a Google document and make sure everything's very easy to understand. Like, this is email number 1, here's your subject, here's your tagline, here's email number 2, here's your subject, here's your tagline, email number 3, here's your subject, here's your tagline. And you could literally just send them the documents, and then all they have to do is copy and paste into whatever system they use. You don't even have to set that up for them as a copywriter. You just have to be a good writer. So you just have to be a good writer and proofread. So if you're not good at design, but you're good at writing, or you're decent at writing, you can try copywriting and just use you can use Grammarly, which is an editor, or you can also use the built-in editor to help you double check behind yourself. So here's how you can make it happen. I just gave you literally 30 something services that you can go online right after we get off of here and say, hey, I offer these services. I am a virtual assistant now. This is what I offer. This is how much it costs. Like, you could literally do that in the next hour. So decide you are going to work for yourself, whether it's a side hustle or full-time. You definitely have to commit. Okay, because if you're half in the door and half out the door, it's not going to work. Enroll in a VA training program to help you organize your business. I highly recommend this because you need to be organized when you're working with clients. And I know this from past experiences of having 50, 60 something clients and not being organized to the T. It's not a light organization. It's not, I wrote this stuff down on a piece of paper. You actually need to have systems set up in place. And it's a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier for you to make money ASAP this week as soon as possible. And manage your clients and keep people happy if you get into a training program that helps you organize your business and helps you understand how you can book clients and have a waiting list. Okay. And number 3, book clients and never be strapped for cash ever again. Never have to worry about whether it's coming from ever again. Okay. So if you think this is for you and you want to enroll in a program, I have a program called Elite VA Training. It opens for enrollment tomorrow, but you can grab your seat today since you're on this webinar. All right. So it opens up for the public tomorrow for round 3. This will be my 3rd time running this exact training. And so it's all pre-recorded. It's uploaded. There's homework. There's scripts involved. There's Q&A sessions, all of that good stuff. I only accept 10 students per cycle. And I do this, even though it's all pre-recorded in there and it releases every week at the same time. Even though it's all pre-recorded, I only accept 10 students. And I do this because I encourage my students to take clients while they're in the program. And it's not just a program, it's more of a mentorship as well, because I'm going to be right there. So I want you to take on clients. And if you have trouble, or if you hit a speed bump, shoot me an email. Let me know what's going on. If you need, hey, this person came to me for email, but I'm not really sure, or I'm not super comfortable with this type of email system. Can you help me? Yes, I have a huge library of technical tutorials that are actually uploaded into the program, where if someone comes to you and says, hey, MailChimp, do you do ConvertKit? Do you do Shopify? Do you do Wix? You can go into the tech tutorial library, find that video for Shopify or Wix or Lead Pages or whatever it is, watch the video, and then respond to the email if you feel comfortable enough taking on that project. So that's why I only accept 10 students per cycle, because it's not just a pre-recorded program. It's not just a pre-recorded course that you're going through. You're also getting the mentorship aspect. And I like to be able to give you guys my attention, as well as being able to take care of my current clients. So it's for you to be able to go ahead and enter the digital workforce and get hired like now. Okay, get hired now. All of my past graduates from Elite VA training have gotten clients before they leave the program. The program is 6 weeks long. I tell people to start accepting clients at 4 weeks, but the scripts that you can send out to clients are released before that. And so once people start saying, like, you don't even have to have a script. Once you start saying, I am a virtual assistant, I'm training to be a virtual assistant, people are going to start asking you. So they literally have clients from like week 3 on, they're taking on clients, okay? Comfortably taking on clients. If you have skills that you're already good at, you can take on clients before that. Like I said, I'm also here as your mentor since I've been through this entire virtual assistant world and literally built the whole foundation of my business as a virtual assistant. It's the reason why I'm able to do all the things I know how to do by myself. I encourage you to go ahead and do it. So in the 6 weeks in the program, we cover what a VA is, 3 different types of VAs, branding yourself, your services and pricing, how to be booked out, client management systems, projects, building out your portfolio. Like I said, there's scripts in there, there's technical tutorials, all kinds of resources that you have access to, not just during the 6 weeks, but well beyond the 6 weeks. So you get lifetime access to the actual course content. So you're able to go in there and look at those tech tutorials whenever you need to. But it's dripped out over 6 weeks, okay? So each week has a masterclass, open question and answer, access to the tutorials, and homework assignments to help you build out your business in an organized way. So you can work from home or work from anywhere, because a lot of the people that you see that are traveling to all these different countries and blah, 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 they're somewhere different every week. They're not just coaches, they're also virtual assistants. They're able to work from anywhere. You can work on campaigns with brands that you love. You do not have to work with people that you do not want to work with. And you can get paid to create content on topics that you're already interested about. Okay? So go ahead and start dropping your questions, because I'm going to open up for question and answer in about 2 minutes. So you guys can go ahead and start asking. But you can enroll in the next 48 hours. If you enroll in this program in the next 48 hours, you get a bonus one-on-one session with me